So, Brandon, what were your impressions about the Z6 Mark III from a video side?
Oh, man, I know this was a big one. So, okay, I got a couple caveats I have to throw out there. Full transparency. So, as you guys know, this is uncensored, so we don't hold anything back. So, the truth is that the Z6iii that you guys are buying or using, I have not actually used that camera. I want to be very clear about that because what we used was a pre-production model. Now, we were a part of, this is something that I just recently learned when it comes to the entire process of like releasing a camera, is that there's kind of like three phases in sort of a speak, right? So you have like the marketing phase where you start creating all the content for, you know, the ads, and like if you go on Nikon's website right now, you'll see me on there, which is kind of cool. Like, I'm not gonna lie, that's pretty neat. That a brand would trust me to help them do this. But we were working with a camera that was pretty dang near close to finished, but we could definitely tell that there was still some software things they were still working out, and there was things that they were doing. So it's hard for me to like give my full opinion on this camera because the model we had was so pre-production. And then you get like, I believe like a second phase, which I've been a part of the second phase before, which is when they give it to like reviewers. This is when like Gerald Undone gets it, you know, Jared Polins, they get it. I've gotten it with Sony before.
So like more of the kinks are ironed out?
I would imagine that they're not putting a camera that still needs some work in the hands of reviewers because they know, you know, they're going to be honest and say what they really think about the camera. And if you can't be like, oh, we're still working on that. And it's like, well, then I have to review what's in front of me. You know what I mean? And so like that's where like the second phase is. And then you then have the final phase, which is the production models that normally come out a few months after the actual camera has been announced. And that's where like everything 100% has fully been ironed out because now people are getting a product that they paid for. And the last thing they want you to do is get a product that you paid for, not like it, and return it. That would kill them. You know what I mean? So to be fair, from what I experienced, and this is where all of my opinions are going to come from. So I'm going to have a lot of opinions throughout this show, so I just want to be very clear up front. All of my opinions are coming from what I experienced with a pre-production model, and then what has been confirmed to me through looking at other people's reviews who got review models. And so I'm putting those two things together to formulate all of my opinions about this camera. So I just want to be very clear about that as we move forward and we talk about the Z6iii, because again, I had a pre-production model that was for marketing purposes. Other reviewers got probably more ironed out versions of the camera. And so that's where my opinions are coming from. So
because when we got it,
go ahead.
Were there only like 4 or 6 of them in the world? Something in that?
I don't know, and I don't want to say the exact number.
Yeah, for sure.
I know that we were already limited, you know. But the nice thing is that we did get a lot of experience with it. So, you know, Travis and Marcus were shooting behind-the-scenes video. You were doing behind-the-scenes photos. So all of those amazing photos you guys see, Mr. Jarrell did those. So even the thumbnail that came out, that was really good. And like your work is published on Nikon's website.
Published.
You're a published photographer.
Published.
You're a Nikon published photographer.
I'm a Nikon shooter.
You are, technically. Let's get that badge put underneath your name.
Hey, I'll take it.
But, you know, my experience with the camera was, first off, holy crap. Like the 6K sensor and the fact that it is a partially dual stack sensor and the high frame rates and like the 4K 120, HD, what is it, 240? Like these features in a camera under $2,500 for me was mind-boggling. Now the other thing,
super aggressive.
Now that's the other thing. I didn't know the price. I actually didn't know the price of this camera until pretty much everybody else started seeing leaks, and even then they didn't tell me what the price was. I was just guessing off the leaks, and then when it officially came out, I was like, wow, that is an aggressive price point for this type of camera. And that, to me, is what makes this camera really, really special. I think a lot of times we look at cameras and we look at, you know, the specs, and then obviously you look at the image, but I do think that price really does make a big difference for a lot of people.
Where do you feel like it lands? Like, its specs, like, where do you feel like, because obviously right now they're putting in at 2,500 and it'll probably stay at 2,500.
Yeah.
But like, what would you expect to pay or what are other cameras that are in its league?
So that's the hard part. There's not really any other mirrorless camera that like sits in its league. Like even if you take like the Sony FX3 or the A7S III for that matter, that is a $3,800 camera somewhere in there, and that's 4K 120, which you know this camera also has. But it's not like it's not 6K. It's not 1080 240. Like it doesn't have line in, which is actually something that's really interesting about this camera. Like there are audio features built into this camera, ready to rock and roll with this camera, like for video specifically. So like there's not really another camera quite like it at its price point where you can really like compare it. But ironically, there are cameras that are more expensive than this one that don't quite have some of the specs that this one has. And so, like, for me, that's why it's like, yo, this camera is punching hard. And regardless to, you know, the features that it has, the price of where it currently sits, I don't really know if there is another camera out right now that gets there.
You have such a short memory, Brandon.
What am I forgetting?
This is the brand that you forget about all the time. Now, to be fair,
oh God,
different sensor sizes. But the GH7 is
right.
Probably
you're right.
A close cousin, a third cousin.
Okay, so
a second cousin.
Is that 6K?
5.7.
5.7K, open gate. Now, to be fair,
ProRes RAW.
If there
32-bit float.
Okay, but the 32-bit float, you have to buy the attachment in order to get the 32-bit float.
True. So
I think you could do that with like a Tascam or anything else. So that's a different adapter. I don't really count that camera as having 32-bit float technically, but I guess it kind of does. If there was somebody today though that I would have faith in that would make a $2,500 camera to compete with this, it would be Lumix. And here's the reason why. Canon's not doing it. Canon's not doing it. They're very happy with their R6 II, and they were like, we can't compete at this price point.
You don't think the 3? You don't think the 3 steps up when the 3 comes out?
I don't think we're going to see a 3 for a while, first off. Second off, Canon showed their cards when they were like, we have nothing to compete at $2,500. So they just cut the price
Hold on.
of the R6 II down to $2,000.
Don't be speaking
I'm
poor.
just saying.
Don't be speaking poor.
I'm just saying. They showed their card. They made it very clear. They cut the price of the R6 II down to $2,000 because they have nothing to compete. If somebody were going to release a camera right now to compete with the Z6 III, I think the best camera brand opportunist out there right now is probably gonna be Lumix. And only because we've already seen what they can do at the lower price point with the actual Micro Four Thirds sensor. And I think if we get the Lumix S5, we get an S5 III that is 6K, and it has Ari's color log or whatever profile in it, and then it has the open gate, and it has everything that they put inside the GH7, but they put that into this one. Yeah, I've got a pretty good feeling that they got a good shot. I think Lumix has a good shot. Now, I don't know what Sony's working on. I don't know if they have something at the 25. I mean, the A7 IV feels like it's been out for a really long time. So if Sony were going to upgrade the A7 IV and put a 6K sensor in it, that would be amazing. But at the exact same time, I think they would piss off a lot of FX3 and A7S III shooters because that camera would clearly be better than that going forward. And it would be at most likely a cheaper price. So,
but that's kind of what Sony does. They don't really worry about cannibalizing.
That is kind of what they do. That is true.
They don't really care.
That is their MO. I don't know. Y'all let me know. What do y'all think? Do y'all think I'm off? I don't know. Let me know in the comment section if you think I'm just like way off on this. But I really do think that right now the Z6 III has like
I can agree. Internal, all the stuff that it does, it really. In considering the full frame aspect of it, there isn't anything in it that's close to it.
I mean, it has its own RAW.
Or
it
tell
has
us.
ProRes RAW.
Or
it
tell
has
us.
ProRes. It has H.265. Like it has all the video codecs that you could possibly want or need, and it does it all in 6K at up to 60 frames per second. Like The only thing you could possibly ask for is maybe open gate if you're Cam Mackie and you want to use some anamorphic lenses. But like outside of that, I don't really know for $2,500 how much more you can really ask for.
They are standing on top of the mountain, but I do not think. I think they're pushing everybody else, which is incredible.
Yeah.
I don't know that they'll stay on top of the mountain.
I think there'll be better cameras. But at $2,500 this year?
Oh, no.
This year for $2,500? Because we know where
it's a
Canon's
2 to 3
going.
year cycle?
Yeah, we know where Canon's going. They're going R5 Mark II right now. They got R1s coming out. I don't see a sub $2,500 camera from Canon that's going to compete with this. I don't see Sony, maybe Sony with an A7 IV, maybe. I feel like they need to upgrade the A7S III.
I always assumed that those were more expensive cameras.
They're like $2,500, but they're not. But they're not that more expensive. But they're on an A7. They have an A7 IV, but they're still on an A7S III.
Yes.
And an FX III. So I feel like we need a S line camera from them right now.
Yes.
Because the S line is lagging behind.
That's what people are waiting on.
Sony, I feel like they're focused. Maybe, I don't know anything, but they're probably focused on the A7S camera, right?
Yeah.
So if they're focusing on the S camera, Canon's obviously focusing on the high-end camera. I think Nikon just won 2024 for the sub $2,500 because they might just be the only ones really fighting there, except maybe Lumix.
Yeah.
Which Lumix could still drop a A7S, what is it, A7 V? I can't remember what they're freaking
Dude, it is.
Lumix
it is hard.
S5 III. Kofi, let me know if you're getting another trip. I see you in the chat. Let me know if you're going to Japan again. That'll let me know what's happening.
You're wild.